Hi guys, so a lot of people have been asking me for a pets video, so here it finally is. And the number one question is what pets I should be using and why, so that's what I'm generally going to cover here, and other possibilities that you could be using and what they could be doing for you. So let's go ahead and look at my pets. So I am currently using this deployment. We have my VIP dragon pet, which everybody gets if you are VIP 10, I believe is when you get it. And then I have the Valkyrie, I have Alice, which is the cat, I have Lugia, which is the bird, and then I have the snowman. So real quick, how you get those pets is from Familiar Exchange. So this Winter Spirit, which you can only get this, you can only exchange for this if you've already gotten it in the past. So early on there was a VIP event, not VIP event, there was an event where you could win this as a reward, similar to the event that's out right now. I'll go show you that here in a second. But that allowed you to guarantee yourself to get a Winter Spirit, and then as soon as you get that, now you can exchange 15,000 of these little crystals to be able to get more of them. Currently at 15,000, but I'm waiting until I get to 30,000 to be able to buy two, so then I can star this guy up. Valkyrie, you can exchange right away, and as soon as you get to 15,000 points, you can get yourself a Valkyrie. And then as far as all the other S pets go, you can exchange these for 1,500 points. S pets cost 15,000. S quality cost 1,500. So why am I using my current pets? So the VIP dragon pet has a good passive that does damage, fire damage to be more exact, and has a 16% chance to stun. Otherwise, the on use ability has a stun and does a lot of fire damage. It's an AoE stun as well, so if people are grouped up on your target, they will all get stunned at the same time. Very good for PvP overall, and it's a very good pet to have if you're not rocking a Valkyrie. The Winter Spirit is going to have this passive where if you become stunned, silenced, or bound, it dispels that and grants immunity to it for 1.6 seconds. That's at 1 star. And note, when you star that up, the duration gets extended and the cooldown gets reduced. So starring up pets definitely helps you out for these passive abilities to be more reactive. And then Lugia, my S pet. And this was the first pet that I got to 5 star, and that was because of the passive. So basically, when I'm about to die, I become invincible, and it restores 9% of my HP plus 5,000, and it can be triggered once every 40 seconds. So at 1 star, it's quite a heavy, long cooldown. I believe it's like a minute and a half or two, or yeah, about a minute and a half. But as you start it up, that cooldown becomes quicker, and you notice it. I notice it whenever I fight anybody who's using this pet because they're dead and now they're not. It's a great thing to have. It's good for everything. The on-use ability is okay. The shield is nice. The immunity is nice. Unfortunately, the cooldown for this is 45 seconds. So generally when you're in a fight against a person, or say you're in threes or something, you're only going to really be able to use it once, maybe twice if you use it right away. Also, if you're on auto, it'll automatically use this and it'll just completely waste the actual benefit to this ability. So it's not that great, but the passive is amazing. Then we have Alice. So Alice, everybody gets Alice, and Alice is great. And it's great because of the passive. So increases all your deployed familiars attack by 500%. This increases the attack not only to your familiars, but in return it also increases your attack, and it's quite a big difference. So getting this pet to 5 star, having it on your team, is going to increase your damage, increase your pets' damage, and yes, your pets do attack. Not very rapidly, but they do attack. When you're doing damage, just look for the damage icon. It's generally purple. The numbers are purple, and it has a little pet emblem next to it, like a little claw. So they do attack. It does increase the damage, and it increases your damage output as well. And most importantly, the Valkyrie. So this is the pet everybody should be going after. It has an on-use ability, so mine's 3 stars. Next attack deals 50% more damage, and then silences the target. The silence is for 2.4 seconds, so silence generally means that your target can't use any abilities, even if they're off cooldown. Excuse me, sorry. So the passive increases every 6 seconds, increases the owner's attack by 45%, lasting 10 seconds. And when the enemy is killed, the effect will be triggered immediately. It can be triggered at most every 2 seconds. This is a huge damage increase. And as you start it up, it'll become stronger. Now, how will you be able to start it up? It costs 15,000 points per. What I recommend is sacrificing your VIP dragon. So at VIP 10, you unlock the dragon. At VIP 13, you get 2 dragons. At VIP, VIP 15, you get another 3 dragons. And then at VIP 17, you get 5 dragons. So instead of automatically unlocking the dragon, the Wings of Death, you can go into the summon, go to familiar, recycle, and each dragon will be up here and you can select them, and each one recycles for 15,000 points, allowing you to buy your Valkyrie. You can get your first Valkyrie at VIP 13, and we're just going to double check that I'm saying this stuff right. So if you go to shop, you go to view privileges. So VIP 13 you get 3, and VIP 11 you get 2, and VIP 10 you get 1. So VIP 11 you get 2. You can instantly recycle one of these guys to get a Valkyrie if you wanted to. And then at VIP 13 you can recycle all 3 of these guys to get 3 more Valkyries. Or you can recycle 2, keep an extra one, and you can make a Valkyrie. So remember, for starting up, it's going to be 2 for your first star up, then 3, then 4, then 5 of the same pet in order to get to a 5-star. So just do your math right and go from there. Me, I did not come along that strategy until I was already past VIP 15. So that's why my dragon's at 4-star. And then I just hit 17, which gave me 5 more. And that allowed me to get my Valkyrie to 3-star. It's a damage increase either way. It can help you guys out. If you don't want to use the dragon at all from the VIP, which is fine, it's just a stun and some extra damage, you can completely sacrifice these guys and just focus on getting your Valkyrie to 5-star right away. Get as much damage out of that pet as possible. You would be using this pet at every waking second, and you'd be doing a lot of damage. As far as other possibilities go, a lot of you guys will end up having the Deep Sea Prophet because it's early on an event and you can get them start up pretty easily. Me personally, I hate this pet. Its proc rate is not that great. Its damage output is not that great. Its percent chance to freezing isn't that great. Unless you're playing like an ice mage or something, or anything around ice, this damage is going to be very low. A lot of people out there are saying that damage on pets scale with your elemental damage. I can't 100% confirm that. It feels like it, but I mean, that's going to be on you guys. As far as defensive pets go, you're going to have Cycle Star. So Cycle Star is great if you're a tank. If you're always having threat and you're constantly taking damage in, say, Devil's Domain or Zodiac. The passive is terrific. It's an extra heal to keep you alive. And then the on-use ability is great too, because not because of the time freeze. Time freeze only applies to those bosses in your towers for getting gems. Also, it applies for some of the dungeon. It's basically that big, huge, what's he called? Elemental. He's purple, and he locks you in a time freeze, and this is the only way to break out of it. But the 4 seconds, 20% of the damage is converted to HP. That's huge if you can time it up right. Then we have this pet right here. It's the crit damage. The reason why I'm not using him is because my crit is not super, super high. I do crit quite often, but I feel like my crit chance isn't high enough to really keep this buff going. I feel like I'll get it up, get some stacks up, I'll get a little bit of damage out of it, but then all my stacks will fall off because it only lasts for 5 seconds. Later down the road, when I star this pet up, I can then get more crit damage out of it by critting more often, and it may end up taking the place of either my dragon pet, probably take the place of my dragon pet, to be honest. And the snowman pet is good too. I still get frozen and stunned and everything like crazy, so, and it's been a while since I haven't used it, but I feel like I might actually get away from this pet and go into something more damage related. That's going to be tested at a later date, so maybe I'll do an update video later on when I get further along with pets. All the Zodiac pets, if you're killing boss wave 6, you have a chance to get them. If you're killing wave 9, you're guaranteed the pet. So every week the pet rotates and you can start farming that. I got lucky this week, last week, and I got the fire pet off of wave 6 and then the guaranteed fire pet off of wave 9. So I was able to star it up and get a little bit more out of it. I'm not using it, but it's definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. And the thing that I'm really interested in is the Venom armor, because if nature damage does scale with it, I'm a nature warrior, and this is basically every time I get hit, there's a 10% chance to use toxic armor, which deals nature damage equal to 4% of my attack, plus 600 to enemies around per second, lasting up to 8 seconds, and can be triggered once every 15 seconds. It's basically an AoE Thorns, which sounds amazing. And if I can start this guy up and get it to like 5-star and do a lot of damage just by being attacked, well, it's gonna do a lot for me. So this is the pet that I really want to play with. I am a nature warrior. Find your element, see if you like that pet. If you don't like it, then just play with it. But doing your Zodiac is important just to get these pets up. You can work on your fate so that you can get your pets. As far as when you should really be working on starting up all these lower tier pets, I would recommend doing it after you get your Valkyrie, at least 1 star, and then start worrying about, okay, maybe if I start up these other pets, I can then start getting more passive power out of them. But definitely the most important pet is Valkyrie by far. It does the most damage, it has the most use, and it's just overall an amazing pet, more so than the stun pet from VIP, and more so than any other pet that I can think of. Now, let's say you don't have a Valkyrie. What should you be using? What could you use to help yourself do more damage? A good pet to go with if your DPS is Eye of Light, because it increases damage dealt to targets and passively does that as well. I know Jinx for a while was rocking this guy at 3-star, and it definitely helped us progress in Zodiac and Devil's Domain. It's just a DPS increase, not for only for yourself, but for everybody in your party. So rocking one of these can definitely help before you get your Valkyrie. And the only other thing, let's go all the way down to A bracket for pets that I think are generally worth working on or having, depending on your budget for this game. Pig is actually really cool. It's the snowman pet, or winter spirit, but without the immunity. And it's a longer cooldown, but it gets rid of stun, silence, and bound, and it triggers once per 50 seconds. And if you really wanted to, you could use both pets. So it's a good way of getting out of CC. Other than that, that's a general idea for these pets. And I mean, you have starring them up is important, and advancing them when you can is important. Generally, you just pick the 5 that you want to go with and advance those up. Don't worry about putting anything else into any of the other pets. Just focus on your main 5 and just keep going from there. If you have any more questions, please post them down in the comments. This video already went pretty long, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.